coming here, I'd want people to feel at home when they come in. Like, if you want to get dressed up to the nines, get dressed up to the nines. If you just finished work and you want to come out, you want to have a quick meal, do that. Like, no one's excluded.
Hey everybody, it's Danny Vallant here with you for an episode of Dirty Linen. Dirty Linen is on the road in the Wimmera Mallee in northwestern Victoria, and what a fun and delightful and educational trip we're having up here. What a great part of the world. Where I sit right now, well, this is going to be a special chat. I'm here with Cat Clarke at Cat Clarke's. Cat has taken over the dining room and kitchen at the Dimboola Golf Club. And she's only been here for a few months, but I reckon this is a transformative hospitality business for this small regional town. And I can't wait to learn more about it. Sitting here full from a delicious lunch, the chef's table. It's been just a really great meal. Cat, I can't wait to hear the stories behind it. Welcome.
Thank you, Danny. Thanks for having me, and thanks for being here.
It's so good to be here, and feels strange for me to welcome you when I'm sitting in your restaurant. But
it's everyone's welcome here, so it's fine.
Well, it feels incredibly welcoming. You park in the somewhat dusty car park because it's pretty dry, and then walk through the archway into the golf club, into this room, and the feeling of welcome is actually extraordinary. We came here, Sunday lunch was in full swing, and what a great feeling.
Thank you. No, we do. Well, we love our Sunday lunches because it's a shorter day for us here at the restaurant, and people can come and they don't have to think about what they're going to eat, and then we create dishes from the ingredients and bits and pieces that we have left over and see how we can go, and then we create the table for you guys to come out and enjoy Sunday afternoon. So it's good.
Well, we started this trip at Mount William Estate or Mount William Station, then went to Dunkeld, then we're in Halls Gap, and I have to say, at every step along the way, people know you and talk about you and
really?
what you do in a good way.
Oh gosh!
Tell us a bit about yourself, Kat, and your work as a chef around the region.
Wow, depends on how far back you want me to start.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, brace yourself. So left school in year 11 and started my chefing apprenticeship off when I was 16. So left Dimboola and ventured to Ararat. Started my apprenticeship off at a hospital, but school was very hard for me. I was the kid that's not designed to be at school, and needed my hands busy, and jumped into the kitchen and finished my apprenticeship off around the area, moved into different places, and always kind of came home every now and then did what everyone else does, like, go over to London, move overseas, but I jumped out of the kitchen then because I was tired, extremely tired, and went front of house and worked bars and bits and pieces, and then came back and had my beautiful son, who's now 19. And then with the chefing hours, weren't kind to being a single mum, so did my teaching degree, became a teacher, and then taught at various different schools, but mainly students that are hard to engage. I get their hands busy, teach them through food. Yeah, it's a beautiful classroom that I have had, and I've had many, many beautiful students over the years. And yeah, where to next? Oh, we were up in, we're down here for a while, and then I think when did we move up there? We moved up to Tully, far north Queensland. I can't remember how many years ago that was. Taught at the schools up there, and we loved it up there. I remember going up there and just seeing the vegetation, the different foods, and I was just blown away by the produce. Connected with like the Girrigan Aboriginal Corporation up there and the communities around there, and with what they taught me and with the permissions I brought into the classrooms, and we hosted big dinners of like for 200 community members coming in and showcasing bush foods and having elders talk about the 360 cycle of food, and it was just a truly amazing experience. And sorry, there's so much, I'm just going off on pathways. So then we moved back at the end of COVID, towards the end, so my son would have been about 15, and then got into teaching, and then picked my catering back up, and then started growing my own food at home. Then opened up my house and hosted these, like what you've attended today. We'd do them about once a month and have people come to my house, and about 25 people, and do a garden tour and cook some food up. And then it was just getting a little bit big. And I woke up one morning, August last year, and I was like, the golf club. Might give them a buzz. So, and in 2 weeks, we had a meeting, and after another 2 weeks, they gave the all clear, and then I turned this around in 6 weeks.
What did you have to do to get it, turn it into a restaurant?
Because it'd been a men's club for like 10, like, bless them, loved them, beautiful. But just small stuff had to have a lot of attention. We took all the furniture out, did the carpet, like cleaned the carpets. Because when I first came in here with one of the members, she was like, we can rip the carpet up. And I'm like, no, the carpet's staying. You know, I love the carpet.
Beautiful browns, and I don't know, how do you describe the carpet? Because it's such a feature.
It is. And if someone's leaving, they're like, I've lost an earring. And I'm like, I don't know how we're going to find it. Everything blends in. So we cleaned, everything had to be cleaned from top to bottom. We moved out a lot of the round tables, brought a lot of my furniture, bits and pieces in. With the kitchen, splashbacks up, took out the old sink, put in a wet area, 2 fridges. We put another fridge out the back because we're on 2-phase out here as well as tank water. So we've got no Wi-Fi either. And there's been a few testing bits and pieces. So, and then leased out the oven, the second oven that we've got, just because I didn't know how the power was going to go, but it's working really well. And then deep fry, benches. Yeah.
There's so many threads to the story that you've just laid out for us. I mean, I love it. It's great. I suppose one thing that comes to mind is it's so interesting that you talk about yourself as a kid that, you know, school really wasn't the place for you, but then you went back into teaching. Yeah. It makes me think, you know, how lucky those kids are that you know, with that understanding came into, give them some learnings.
I think if you've been a person that's struggled at school and you've had that one person that's actually kind of gone, I know that this doesn't suit you, and actually puts like a little bit of compassion in the way that they speak with you rather than putting you down in front of people. And there was one teacher at my high school that actually got me through, and I know that my classroom ended up being a sanctuary for kids because I'd go a little bit against the system, and they're like, well, you need to show us their growth. And I'm like, come into my kitchen and ask the kids a question, you know, because I'm giving them a test that's open and closed book. It's not how anything's done anymore. Like, if you want an answer, you're going to Google it, you know, but we've got to figure out how they can actually source out to find the answers and to want to find the answers. So,
sparking that curiosity.
Yeah, and food's amazing. Like, you know, and even me being honest as a teacher and going, I don't know. Like, and not putting any shame to it and going, okay, well, how do we do it? Let's find out. Let's see what that works. What would happen if we added that? Yeah, mistakes are good. As long as they're not continual.
What a great attitude. Kat, you've grown up in the area and spent a bit of time at Dimboola Golf Club, not in a professional capacity. No. Tell us about, you know, growing up around here and time here specifically. Oh,
it was just a fabulous place to feel connected to. Like, the men this is going back in the 80s, but the men would go play golf. The mums and the wives would be in the kitchen making the Saturday night dinner. You'd be running around with your brothers and sisters and other friends, falling asleep under the table waiting for your folks to finish up so you could go home. It's peaceful out here, and I love it. Yeah. And sorry.
You go.
No, well, one of my friends came out for dinner the other week, and she goes, I just don't feel like I'm in Dimboola, but I feel like I've driven 4 hours to get here, and it's just across the bridge, you know. And it's funny also because then I've got other locals going, you're mad opening up out there, and, you know, no one's going to go. And I'm like, it's 1.5 k's. You drive to the pub for dinner, you know, like, I'm going to give it a crack. Like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, you know, great. It's another place for people to go to. Because the whole being with this is I wanted to create a space that I would want to attend. Like, I go to, like, when I do have time and going out to dine and watching other chefs and watching how other people work, I'm just, so many hard workers out there, and just the way they do things is, like, as I said before, there's so much to learn. But then, you know, coming here, I'd want people to feel at home when they come in. Like, if you want to get dressed up to the nines, get dressed up to the nines. If you know, just finished work and you want to come out, you want to have a quick meal, do that. Like, no one's excluded. Yeah.
Well, how do you create a place that feels like somewhere you'd want to come?
I don't know. I'm getting there. I think, yeah, communication, welcoming, not ignoring people when they are sitting there, knowing, yeah, asking questions again, you know, getting back to the old school hospitality kind of way. And we do not try to, like, on some Saturdays we've been flat out busy, which has been fantastic, but I worry because it kind of loses its sense of, let's smash this food out, let's get these people done. And it's like, it's just, you know, but you need bums on seats to get money on. You're like, it's a catch-22. I'm like, I just want everyone just to chill.
I think so many people struggle finding that balance.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be busy to do it and to offer any kind of hospitality. So, yeah.
We'll get there. And working with, but I mean, the hospitality industry now's struggling for workers left, right and centre, and restaurants and cafes are closing left, right and centre as well. But I've got some really good staff, and, you know, a lot of junior staff wanting to work because they know it's a safe place to work, and they're learning things, and they're not just doing one thing. Like, you know, the first few months of my apprenticeship I was just doing dishes. Like, these guys do dishes, but also if I need a hand plating up, they're plating up with me, you know, just, yeah, it's great.
So good. When you say safe place to work, what do you mean by that?
Well, I was trained in the 90s, so, and a female, and I was 16, so it wasn't very kind back in, yeah. And it wasn't a thing you just spoke about, like this, can I say, the sexual harassment and not being spoken to the same or being treated differently, and yeah, just, yeah, a lot of tears in cool rooms there was, and yeah. And I like when we get into that service and, like, now, being able to show that adrenaline and how fun it actually is. Like, you know, and me talking to you short isn't the difference between I'm not telling you off. It's just, let's just get this done. And then we debrief afterwards. There's no swearing. It's no raising voice. It's just like, okay, I don't need to know that now. Let's get this out.
Did you have any mentors along the way that helped you see that it could be like that?
When I was doing my training at University Ballarat Federation Uni, his name was Peter Trotter. I think he's only just finished training, and he was just fabulous. Like, just kind of putting stuff back into me, like, because I was going to trade school, and my first year of my apprenticeship was at a hospital, so I went to trade school, and everyone else was older. There was only another female, and they were all at these fabulous restaurants, and they knew food. Like, I didn't grow up in a food family. Like, our dishes were a silver side, a roast, chow mein, and a spaghetti, you know, and probably fish and chips. That was it. There was no creativity. Everything was just cooked, and that was it. And so being around these other apprentices, and I was just like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, you know, it just felt out of my, what's that word? Like, definitely out of my comfort zone, but just trying to copy other people with how they were doing bits and pieces, because, like, they were styling the food. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And it was a unit called hot and cold desserts, and it might have been a chocolate pudding or a mousse, and I went up there and I was copying someone else that was on the next bench over to me, and I took it up, and he's like, pushed it away, and he goes, I'll give you this, this and this. He goes, you've got 3 minutes. And I'm like, or what? And he's like, oh, you don't pass. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I've just gone back up, didn't think about it, just plated it up, went back to, you know, and presented it to the trainer, and he was like, see, Look at the difference. And I'm like, so did I pass? He's like, yes, but that was that first step in going, I can achieve things. Yeah.
And was it also, I can be myself and achieve things?
No, that's probably 10 years down the track. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's my own confidence as well. Like just being, that's mine. Yeah.
Well, I think that means in general, I think that's harder as a woman, and especially I think, you know, the time and the industry that you were in, you speak about it being pretty hard and perhaps not as respectful as it should have been. How did you, or do you feel confident about what you're doing now?
Oh, that's a really good question. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that. My confidence has come with age, 100%, and through not doubting myself. But that's only probably been in the last 5 years as well. Like, even though I've been a chef all these years, but I watch other people's food and I watch how they do it. And I'm like, how do they do that? How do they do that? Because I was trained, but more left to my own devices in a lot of places, so never really had that mentor. So a lot of stuff's been self-taught, or like my comprehension's quite limited, so with reading and, you know, so I'm very visual with doing bits and pieces and making a lot of mistakes, but learning, the confidence has come through learning and kind of giving it a go, and at the end of the day not really caring to a point what other people think. Because everyone's going to have their comments and their opinions. Oh, you should do this or you should do that. I'm like, yeah, I should, but you can do that. I'll just stay in my kitchen and just see what happens. You know, it was cute today because Mia's been working with me for a year and a half, and she started off at the home restaurants at home, and it was really cute today because the gnocchi, we do like the gnocchi quite a few times, and it's always a vegetarian dish, but I'm like, I've got that lamb left over from last night, let's do this. And she was like, oh, is this a new dish? And I'm like, see? But she was thinking, okay, cool. So if I wanted to make that at home, curiosity, can I do this? Yes, you can. But it's also someone else batting in your corner and telling you that.
Yeah. Well, that was a really great dish. I love your gnocchi. And I love the lamb, and I love the ice plant with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using a lot of Indigenous ingredients.
Yes.
You mentioned your experience working with traditional owners in North Queensland. Like, talk to me about how that's threaded through your cooking and how you're approaching it here at the golf club.
That's probably my first kind of embedding any bush foods was when I was teaching here, and that might have been about 14 years ago maybe, and they were doing a historical tour, like with one of the year levels. They were going out to Japarrit, and they were going to like the Pioneer Museum and all this, and I'm like, why are we not going to Ebenezer Mission? Why is this not a part of the actual teachings? Oh, it's not really history. I'm like, it was, and then I just couldn't believe it. And then we were walking somewhere and someone had told me about saltbush, and then I'm like, is that saltbush? So then my eyes just started to open to kind of go, to start looking at plants and to start the curiosity. And you'll go through, like, especially with the education system, it's a tick system. It's not it's never a sustainable approach. They turn around and go, oh, have you embedded this? And I was like, mate, do it all the time. Like, if this is the thing for a collective reconciliation, we actually need to be doing all the time, not just when it's reconciliation week or when it's close the gap day, like, you know, going off on tangents, sorry. So then started to work with saltbush, figured out the flavours and bits and pieces with that. Did a little bit of research, started to work with a couple of elders and got them to come in to talk about their stories with bits and pieces, but I embedded it through the food, you see, so I hit a lot of road bumps along the way with being, you know, but I'm like, yeah, but we're learning this, we're taking this. So it's just like, let me do my thing, because it's the connectivity, and as soon as everyone feels connected, everyone gets stronger, you know, like it's, anyway. Was always curious, and also making friendships along the way and listening to stories and the importance of produce and trees and how much everything gives us, and when we continue to take without putting back, and also not replenishing with the right vegetation. Like, you can see how dead, like I'll be driving anywhere and I'm like, just plant some trees or something, like all these paddocks and paddocks and paddocks, and then you'll get, the farmers go, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why can't you? Like, everything's so destitute out here and it's just getting worse. So with learning about different products and working like the ingredients, and especially going up to far north Queensland where a lot of the people that I worked with, they hadn't lost a lot of history. There was a lot of, the history down here is pretty severe, so there was a lot passed down, therefore with acceptance, and was learning about when this specific flower comes out, which means the crocodile eggs are out, and the whole cycle of the 6 seasons, which is, are taught through when you're actually out looking at when flowers are opening, what fruits, what can we eat, what do we do with the seeds, how do we put back, and the flavours, and because they are the oldest ingredients on land. So the stories that if these plants and ingredients could talk would be amazing. So yeah, so I implement that through food and supporting Indigenous owned businesses, and then if not Indigenous owned, affiliated, because Crikey Tucker, who I get the majority of my mass produce through, is non-Indigenous, but he grows a beautiful product, and it's the only product that I can actually, yeah, a lot of that supply chain stuff is really you might have the intention of doing one thing, but it's really hard for the supply chain doesn't necessarily support it. No, but a lot of the plants outside here, you'll see that they're all purchased from Dalkey Goringa Nursery out the road here, and also Bush to Bowl, which is another Indigenous owned nursery in New South Wales that I do a lot of work with as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the use of some ingredients like saltbush and munchies and the ice plant, the rosella was particularly striking. Yeah. The rosella flower with the duck. Can you talk about that dish? Well,
I worked with rosellas up at far north Queensland, so that was an amazing ingredient. And then when I ordered my produce through Crikey, and he was like, guess what I've got? And I'm like, are they ready? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, send me a bag. So he sent me a bag. So that's where they're from. So learning about so you utilise the petals, and there's pectin in the, excuse me, listeners.
In there somewhere.
It's a little bit tired on this Sunday. But you can use the pectin, but I just literally made just a jam without the pectin, just reduced it. Yeah, did you enjoy it?
I just loved it. That was just a beautiful sauce, and then to have that crunch, that real succulent but a bit sour flour was really so good. And with the duck, where it's got that richness, the fattiness, the cut through, and the difference in texture was really striking. Yeah. So I thought it was a beautiful dish.
Thank you.
Really appreciated the macadamia through there as well. Yeah, it's really, really lovely. I'd love you to talk about the warrigal green croquettes, and it's not just because I've got warrigal greens going in the garden and always want to know how to use them.
Oh, please.
But tell me about warrigal greens and how you use them.
Well, I grow all the warrigal greens that we use. I grow. So when they are full swing in season, we will have a day here that I just harvest the whole lot. We pick them, we wash them, and they have to be blanched, listeners. Please blanch your warrigal greens because they've got an oxalate acid in them. Like, you're not going to get sick if you have a few, but if you eat a bunch, just be on the safe side. Like, it's not hard to be safe. So then we've got a lot. We will blanch, and then we actually freeze. We haven't done that for ages because since opening the restaurant, we just go through the products. Like, there's not much that we hold on to, unfortunately. But if you've got warrigal greens, just replace it for any green leafy vegetable recipe that you can think of. Throw it into everything.
How do you use them in the croquettes?
So we blanched them, did the whole washing, blanching, then made the croquette mixture, and then threw in a lot of herbs as well, because I had a lot of herbs to use up, and then just cut it up and put it in, and cheese.
So good.
And cheese.
Yeah, that was great, because they've got that nice acidity and a brightness, and I think with the cheese and the crumb and a bit of frying action never goes astray. Like, it was a really good combo.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I loved it. Kat, I think a business like this can really change a regional town. What kinds of things have you heard from your customers over the months?
What have I heard? Like, really positive feedback, and even as you like, just that kind of like, oh, this is really nice. For even the people that haven't come out, and then they've eventually come out going, oh, can I just come out for some arancini, or can I just? I'm like, yeah. If I'm here, the hours are open, the kitchen's open, so you can come and have a feed any of those hours. It's giving the locals also somewhere else to go. And everyone's enjoyed it from that have said that to me. I haven't had any negative feedback yet. No, touch wood.
Well, walking in here for a Sunday lunch, it feels like a place people can come to for an occasion. There's like a big work catch up. You can come here for a birthday. There are people visiting from out of town. It just feels like a welcoming place that people could use in lots of different ways. Yeah.
And also hoping to tap into even, the wedding market. Like, even if you want to get married on like a Wednesday, it's just so quiet and so lovely, and yeah, wonderful.
Dimboola's a place that's kept drawing you back.
Yes.
What is it about the region that you love?
Just home. It's just home. So, as I said before, like, my son's 19, so before I started the business, but it was about a year ago, just after he turned to 18, and he was like, well, are you going to move back up north? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And he goes, I thought you would have. And I'm like, I'm tired, like, because we've travelled a lot, we've lived in different places, and now Dimboola's always been home, but now our house is a home, and we've got the garden, and I've got space. I don't have to sign any leases, or I can have my chooks doing what they want to do, and it's good. Just I love going, like, heading off to Melbourne or other cities and bits and pieces, but I love leaving them too. Like, I went down to Tasmania last week and waking up on that Wednesday morning, and I'm like, I'm ready to go home. Like, great time, glad I did it, but I'm just ready to go home. Yeah.
And what about for people who aren't from here? What would bring them to the region?
Cat's restaurant.
Definitely.
We've got the Little Desert, which is still out of action because of the fires. There is a river through town. So if you're one of those people that uses water a lot, what are those?
Kayaking?
Yeah, that one. Sorry, as I said, it's Sunday. There's the Pink Lake, so you can, and there's actually a lot of samphire that grows out of the Pink Lake, but I don't harvest there because there's a lot of tourists there, and I just, you just never know what happens. What else? Plenty of different shops into town to see. You've got the Dimboola store, and then you've got Mallop's beautiful art shop, and then you've got the antique places, and then there's a retro store and a library. There's heaps of space. That's the whole thing. And there's a beautiful walk from the township out to the golf club as well. And we're working towards getting a track put through, so it's only for those that actually just want to walk out rather than take the road. There's the local pub, which is perfect and beautiful, and there's a brewery opening up as well, and the Imaginarium. Yeah.
What's the Imaginarium?
Well, you're staying there tonight. So it's Jamie and Chan, and they've got a lot of quirky little bits and pieces, and they've done up the old National Bank. So, and you'll love it there. It's gorgeous as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely more than enough to build a long weekend around. Yeah. And you mentioned Little Desert Park and the fires. I mean, you can see outside here that the fires got pretty close this summer. It must have been a scary time.
Yeah, it was very scary. So I've probably mentally been better over the last 2-3 weeks. It was a big shock to the system. Just like I didn't realise it was a shock to the system until like even after we were back up and running again, and I'm like, why am I breaking down in tears? And because that night that we left, we had to evacuate Dimboola within a half an hour, and driving out of Dimboola and towards Warwick-Nabil, and you could see the smoke, and I didn't think I'd be back in to see Dimboola again. And then we were at a friends of a friend's place because we were this convoy of Dimboola people in Warwick-Nabil when we evacuated, and then the rumour had it that the golf club had gone. But I was okay because I was like, I was okay because it's an establishment. There was no lives lost. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it'd be disappointing, but then, coming down from that and then being told that it was fine, but then for the next week I had to be escorted out to water the plants by the CFA and the police, and because it was over the river, so everything was kind of normal-ish back in Dimboola, and then I'm just like, oh, and then the wildlife, and yeah, we've been doing what we can still. So yeah, I've had wallabies and bits and pieces coming up, and Norman the goanna, so I haven't seen him for a few days. It'd be very, very good for him just to walk past the window now and be like, oh, there's Norman.
Yeah, I think the amount of kind of keeping yourself together emotionally that you must have to do through something like that, the amount of energy that takes. And as you say, you don't necessarily realise the vigilance until perhaps you're able to breathe out a little bit.
Yeah, and because my stepsister-in-law, she buzzed me after, I think we were closed for about 2.5-3 weeks, like here, but everything else was back up. And it was just covered in ash, like everything. There was just a film of ash, and it was just like overwhelming to clean. And then because the road was still open, and one day I was told that it might be 6 weeks, it might be 3 months until we can reopen. And then within a couple of days, it's like, oh no, you can open this weekend if you want. I'm like, what? Okay, fantastic. But, called on family and friends, and we got stuck into cleaning. And then, yeah, my stepsister-in-law buzzed me after the first shift. And she goes, how'd you go? Oh my God, like you must be pumped. And I just went, I just feel like we're not supposed to be here. Like, and next day I was good. The day after that I wasn't. But I've got a team, and I was just very honest. I just said I don't feel right at the moment. I said, like, if, I'm doing my best to, put my best foot forward, but at the same time I'm like, just a little bit fragile.
It's really hard to deliver hospitality in those circumstances because it's such an energy. You just got to put so much energy into it. You got to give so much. So I can imagine it's been quite a depleting time. Yeah,
and I've had customers that have come in, and there was a wallaby. I think it had been injured, and we were feeding that. I was putting water out, and it would just watch me in the mornings and talking to one of the customers that arrived for a Friday lunch, and she said, are you all right? Next minute just burst into tears. I'm like, there's so much death further out, and it's just hard to digest what we've lost. And we go on to normal, but it's just destruction out there. And then had other beautiful customers spoke about what we're doing, because we're putting out food for the animals and bits and pieces, and they gave like $100 cash to go, Cat, here, please, just put it towards. I'm like, oh my God, crying again. I'm just like, oh, you guys are so beautiful.
It is beautiful, and I suppose it's testament to the community that you're part of, and also the community that you're creating here.
Yeah.
I'm so touched to have come upon this place. I heard about it. There's this restaurant at the Dimboola Golf Club. I'm like, really? And to chat to you a few weeks ago on the phone, and then to be here, feeling the beautiful energy in this room, but also knowing, the tough stories that are around it. I think as someone who's come from Melbourne, I feel so great to have made this journey, to be enjoying what you're doing. It's adding such a rich layer to the region.
Thank you.
What would you say to other people, perhaps in Melbourne, maybe they're in Adelaide, who knows where they are, maybe they're in London, wondering if you, I don't know, cooked for them when you were working over there. Who knows where they are? But what would you say to them if they're thinking about coming here?
I'll just come. I'm a big believer, if you want to do something, just go call up your friends and be like, what are you doing in 2 weekends' time? Let's go to Dimboola. Let's go for a drive. So it's 4 hours from Melbourne and 4 hours from Adelaide. We're halfway. It's a good halfway point to stop off. There's, I think, about 4 or 5 Airbnbs in Dimboola now, which is great. And there's a motel and a hotel and, yeah.
I love it. Actually, we're also doing something with Tasting Australia, talking about the food festival over in Adelaide in May. And now I'm thinking, actually, this is a great double act.
Yeah.
Head over to Tasting Australia and stop here on the way. What a great way to bundle it up.
I've been seeing all the promos for that, and I'm just like, oh, I'd love to get over there. There's so many beautiful, creative people that are just want to soak it up and just hang out. Can I come hang out in the kitchen with you? Because it's just...
Yeah, I think it'll be amazing.
Far out.
Yeah. Well, Cat, thank you for feeding us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for welcoming us into your world.
No, thanks for coming.
It's great. And I have to say, we're surrounded by honour boards. Are there any Clarke families, members in this Golf Hall of Fame?
Yeah, my dad's up there a couple of times in 1991. What did he win? The Keith Hensbridge Memorial. Don't know what that's about, but then and then he won another one down there. But there's a lot of Richards up there, bless him.
Who's R. Richards?
Bobby Richards. If you come to the golf club, you'll have a chance of seeing him.
Love it. Love a fixture at a golf club. Cat, thank you for welcoming us and congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This episode is part of a special Dirty Linen series about the Grampians, Wimmera and Mallee regions in Western Victoria. We drove the roads, saw the sights, said hello to the roos and emus, met the people, ate the food, drank the wine, and generally soaked up the delights. Listen to more episodes about the Grampians, Wimmera Mallee. We hope you'll plan a trip to the region and maybe listen to stories of this fun, fascinating part of the world as you travel. This series is supported by Visit Victoria.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.